YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today, guys, we have another deck profile for you guys. And yes, since last Thursday, people are just using Kashtira's non-stop, and it got stale very quick. People are just using the whole Kashtira, even if it's not complete, just trying to lock your opponents out in most of their zones. I think the best way to use this or utilize Kashtira at the moment is just by an engine with a unicorn or defender, or just basically defender currently. It's really strong. But anywho, we are not talking about Kashtiras. We are talking about the Chaos Synchro deck. So our deck profile is this one. It's a roughly 43 cards on our deck, and by far it kind of worked. Going second is my priority for this deck. Going first is not that much, although having to settle with Chaos Angel on the board as long as you have its protection is insanely good. It is a really good power on the field with a 3,500 attack. But I do prefer going second for this deck so that I can just banish cards with its effect, and of course so that my monsters can also activate its effect once they are Synchro summoned. For the deck profile, I'm going ahead of myself. So Blackwing Sharinga is our level 2 tuner monster that you can go into the field. And if you have a copy of a level 4 non-tuner, you can go for your level 6 place, since we have a ton of those in our extra deck. 3 copies of Core of Chaos. Now this is a really good combination with our Shell of Chaos, because if ever Core of Chaos is banished and you have your Shell of Chaos special summon to the field, you can special summon the Core of Chaos from the banished zone to your side of the field. Thus you can go into a level 6 Synchro play. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. We are not using Maxi. I know people really love to use Maxi in any type of decks, but by far, just having to settle on 43 cards is just okay. And I tried using Maxi with this type of build. It was really hard because most of the time you need to see light and darks mostly in your hand, not earth or a fire monster. So just to settle on Ash Blossom is really good alone. 1 Wyvern Burster, 1 Call Up Serpent, 3 copies of your Raiden, the Hand of the Lightsworn. Really good card just to mill out cards to the graveyard, use the effect of the monster in the graveyard, banish it, whatever. As long as you have fuel in the graveyard to banish, then you are good to go for most of your Synchro plays. 1 copy of Chaos Valkyrie, 3 copies of Chaos Witch. This is one by far the most insanely good card that was added for the Chaos archetype. So once this card is normal summoned, you tribute this monster, you can spell summon 2 level 2 non-tuner tokens to the field. Now if this card was banished from the hand or graveyard, you can spell summon 2 level 2 tuners on the field that are tokens. So that's insanely good. My go-to combo for this is use this as a banish, special summon the 2 level 2 tuners, and then normal summon a Chaos Mirage on the field, spell summoning 1 Banished Light or Dark monster. That is your target for the Chaos Witch, and you can go immediately into your level 8 play, which is your Chaos Archfiend. Now we'll talk about Chaos Archfiend in a bit. 3 copies of Chaos Mirage Dragon, and by far I just noticed it, this is actually a worm, so this might be a really good synergy with the Sword Souls, I think. So who knows? We'll try to test that one out later on. If ever your Chaos Ruler is banished, you can spell summon your Chaos Ruler to the field. So insanely good for a level 4 monster. Your Bestial monsters, 1 of each, your Magnamut, your Saturnier, your Dru's Worm, and of course your Bestial Lubellion. 1 copy of Kaiju, that is a dark, 1 Chaos Dragon Levenier, 1 the Chaos Creator, and our Bestial Lubellions. That is basically all our monsters there. Spell and traps, you have 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, 2 copies of Charge of the Light Brigade, 1 Lightning Storm, 3 copies of Chaos Space, 2 Called Graves, very important, and 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Now this is typically the cards that we'll be using. If you're not really interested into a 43 card deck, you can remove 3 copies of Evenly Matched, but I think Evenly Matched at the current state is really good or insanely good. So having this on your deck gives you the edge if you are going second. So that is basically your main deck, guys. Your extra deck revolves around 1 copy of Infinity Doom Archstream just for a negate, 2 Chaos Beast. This card gains 1000 attack if any cards are banished, same as most of the effects for the Chaos Synchro monsters. 1 copy of Shooting Riser Dragon. You have your level 4 non-tuner and your level 3 Ash Blossom. You can go for Shooting Riser. Your Chaos Goddess, your Angel of Zera, your Cypher Lord Omega, Draco Berserker of Tenyi, Chaos Ruler of course, 2 copies of Chaos Archery. Now this monster right here gains or garners 2000 attack if a card is banished or cards are banished. To top it all off, this card can attack all of the monsters your opponent controls. So insanely good. If ever your opponent has a Kashtira, it doesn't really matter. You can just pop every card on the field. And if ever you have a copy of Chaos Angel on the board, it will protect also your Chaos Archfiend from the effects of your opponent. One copy of Blackwing Full Armor Master from the Blackwing Tuner that we have, and a level 8, you can immediately go into the Blackwing Armor Master. And lastly, your Psychic End Punisher for a level 8 and a level 4 Tuner, you can go for Psychic End Punisher. Now that is basically your deck profile there, guys. Let's move on to the replays, and I'll showcase you guys how fun this deck really is. Alright, I'll see you guys in the outro. Alright guys, so here we are with the replays, and to start off, we have two Chaos Switch, one Shell of Chaos, one Chaos Mirage, and one Bestial Magnamut. Our tactic here is always going second, so our opponent's going first. So we are going up against Traptrix, so let's see his gameplay here. So Mermel on the field, getting a copy of Holitea, and he will go link into a copy of Sarah here. A typical Traptrix play. Setting the Holitea, sending to the graveyard Gravedigger's Trap Hole, spell summoning it with the effect of Sarah. Spell summon the what you call this again? DNA. And there we go. Since we already know the two cards here, he will eventually go into exit play for our Flacia, a typical Traptrix board. So that is it with one card on the back row. So at least we know two cards, but one card is going to be enigmatic to us. Enigmatic is the word. But yeah, on our turn, we got a copy of Core of Chaos. Now, the best part about the Chaos Synchro deck, we don't really care if our monster is going to be negated or banished. We can still do some plays. So, Core of Chaos will banish a copy of Chaos Switch, prompting the effect of Chaos Switch later on. But we got Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Doesn't really matter. We just want to prompt the effect of those monsters on the field, or those cards on the field. So with that, our Chaos Switch will summon two tokens on the field that are tuners. But before we summon our Chaos Mirage, we will go for the Chaos Switch first. We'll go for the Shell of Chaos to prompt the effect. So he will use the or send a copy of Gravedigger's Trap, negating and burning us for another 2,000. And Sarah will use its effect, and that is basically it. We are free to move. Chaos Mirage on the field, spell summoning our Chaos Switch from the graveyard. We go for our Chaos Ruler here. So Chaos Ruler will excavate a card, and with the effect of the Chaos Mirage, banish one card on the field. One card on the field. And chaining it with our Bestial Magnamut so that we have a level 6 non-tuner on the board that we go into our level 8 play. So banish one card. Chaos Ruler will excavate cards, and if ever we hit any Light and Darks that we don't need, we will just add more fuel to our graveyard. So we get a copy of Juice from here, very good. Magnamut will prompt the effect, getting a copy of another Bestial monster later on. So we go for our level 10 Synchro play, which is Chaos Angel, prompt the effect, banish one card, which is the face down card that we don't know, and use the effect of Juice Worm to special summon it to the field. So we have a level 6 monster for our level 8 Synchro play. So at this point on, we have the protection from the Chaos Angel since we use Chaos Switch and the Mirage as our fathers. So we have here, so Synchro monsters you control are unaffected by monster effects activated by your opponent, and if you use a dark monster as a fodder, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. So, insanely good. And there we go, banish with the effect of the Juice Worm. Use the Chaos Ruler's effect, spell summon itself back to the field, and with that, go for battle. So attack over the Sarah, attack over the Denia. He will prompt the effect of Holitea, spell summoning the Rafflesia to the field. Doesn't really matter, we're still gonna kill that off. And then the Rafflesia. And then we have 3,000, 3,500, and then a 2,500. So we have more than lethal. That is game number 1. Alright guys, game number 2, and we are going up against Kashtiras here. So Core of Chaos, 1 Raiden, 1 Chaos Switch, 1 Chaos Mirage, Dragon, and the Chaos Creator. So our opponent is going first still. That is our plan. Unicorn to the field, getting a copy of Birth. There we go. Use the effect of... Now this is typically a good counter for the Chaos Synchro deck. So we don't have any materials in the graveyard if ever that's going to be the case. So we're just going to have to remove that one. Easy as that. So he's going to go for Shangri-Ira in the field, and that is his board. So 1 back row as well. I forgot what this back row is, but nevertheless, it's perfectly fine. So our Charge of the Light Brigade won't actually work because it can send cards to the graveyard. So what we need to do is prompt the effects of the monsters here and then destroy the dimensional feature. So we go for a Core of Chaos, banishing one Witch. Witch will summon the tokens to the field. It was the preparations here. I think he summons a monster here, which is the Unicorn. So 2 interruptions on his side of the field. So 2 tokens on the field there. Banishing my Core. Normal summoning our Chaos Mirage. Special summoning it. And with the effect of Kashtira Unicorn, we're free to move. He's gonna lock one zone out, doesn't really matter. Because we're gonna go into our Chaos Ruler. So Chaos Ruler will excavate us a card. The sad part about this is my cards are gonna be banished instead. So doesn't really matter. So we go into our level 10 Chaos Angel. And with that, we complete the fodder requirements for the light and dark thingy. So there we go. Remove the dimensional feature, and we're free to move with our cards. Light Brigade, send cards to the graveyard. Sadly, the birth, I forgot the effect of birth here, so doesn't really matter. Go for the effect of Rebellion, getting a copy of Magnemut. Magnemut is going to be spell summoned. We got Max Seed. Doesn't really matter at this point on, because as long as we can spell summon a monster to the field. Level 6 plus 2, we go for our Chaos Archfiend, so that we can just kill off most of the cards on our opponent's side. So with that, kill off the Fenrir, kill off the Unicorn, and then attack into the Shangri-Ira, just thus removing the attachments. Oh yeah, by the way, I failed to inform you guys, every time this card destroys by battle, it is removed out of play, so not in the graveyard, so good. So there we go. We got a copy of Drewsworm here. On his turn, before he goes into his play, we spell summon our Drewsworm. And it doesn't really matter here what he'll summon to the field, but I saw his deck, he's just basically running a ton of, what you call this? Exe monsters. So there are no like good level 7 Exe monsters currently, and if ever he'll try to destroy my monster, it's still protected by the Chaos Angel, so it doesn't really matter. He's just gonna lock my zones out, which is somewhat irrelevant at this point on. There we go. Go for Jablosis, banish cards, and I think he's trying to mill me here, but doesn't really matter. There we go. Shangri-Ira will lock another zone, and with the effect of bird, spell summon another level 7 to the field. He will try to use the effect of Fenrir here, doesn't really matter. Like I said, it's still protected by the effect of Chaos Angel. I mean, that he sacrificed 3,000 of his life points to go for another Shangri-Ira on the field. So, the only card that's blocking my path here is just the 0 attachment Shangri-Ira. So, yeah. Gonna spell summon a copy of Ogre to the field. What we just need to do is just typically go into battle and just pop every card here. So, destroy the Unicorn, increase the attack into 4,500. Destroy the Ogre and the other Shangri-Ira, destroy the Deblosis, and then remove the materials from the second copy of Shangri-Ira. Gonna imper my card, doesn't really matter. So there we go. Main phase 2 will just summon a ton of monsters and then, you know, it'll be overwhelmed. So that's game number 2. Let's go for game 3 and 4. Alright, so game number 3, guys. We're still going up against, I think we're going up against Labrynth here. So our opponent's going first. We have 2 Elder of Darkness, 1 Chaos Witch, 1 Ash Blossom, and 1 Chaos Space. Not really the best of hand. You'll typically have hands like this, but it still works. We're gonna go for a copy of Ariane here, or Ariane. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. But we'll Ash Blossom that, since he started off with Ariane. I'm gonna go for Labrynth Stovey here. I'm gonna use this effect in a copy of, whatchamacallit, Big Welcome. And then dropping off a Cooklock to spell summon a copy of Lovely Labrynth. Popping 1 card in my hand. At this point on, doesn't really matter what he pops in my hand. Still have 2 Elder of Darkness. But Stovey's gonna be on the board. I was wondering why he didn't summon the Chaos Ruler here. I mean the Chaos Angel here. It was supposed to be a good target. but I think he's just going for the play a while ago, or just gonna, yeah, just trying to use it for the big welcome. But anywho, we go for our Lord of Darkness, drawing 2 cards. Gonna use the effect of big welcome. Then spell summoning the lovely Labrynth. I mean the Lady Labrynth. This was actually a good card though to draw into, but he actually popped this with the effect of lovely. So sad. So we managed to banish our Chaos Witch, which was what we'll really need. And at this point on, I'm just praying that he won't pop my Chaos Mirage. There we go, but he popped my Lightning Storm, so that was good. So at this point on, he can't activate the back row, so we all need to do is use the effect of Chaos Mirage. Then spell summon our Witch into our Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler will excavate cards, and the Mirage will banish 1 card. So we'll target the face down, so leaving his Lady Labrynth unprotected. Excavate the cards. We got the Chaos Valkyrie, which is pretty good, pretty insane. Spell summon the Valkyrie, banishing the core. And with the Chaos Space, we will draw 1 card. There we go. So it's typically the same game all over again. Level 6 into a level 8. Pop all the cards, and he has basically nothing that he can work with on the next turn. So that is game number 3. Let's go for game number 4. Alright guys, so here we are with the last game, and we have 1 Core of Chaos, 1 Raiden, 1 Chaos Mirage Dragon, 1 Bestial Saronir, and 1 copy of Charge of the Light Brigade. Our opponent's going first, like always. That is our go-to play. Our opponent is using Kashtira here. So Unicorns will be summoned to the field, getting a copy of Birth. Gonna go for 7 Swords, banishing 1 to draw 2 cards. Spiral summoning the Ogre to the field, getting a copy of Preparations, use the effect of Birth, and then Spiral summon the Unicorn. So that is basically it, and then go for rank 7 play. So Shangri-Ira is going to be on the board with, of course, 2 back rows. That is basically his board, and it's not that much. We draw into a copy of another Core of Chaos, which is perfectly fine. Gonna use the effect of Shangri-Ira, spell summoning the Fenrir. We banished 3 cards, which was the Drew Swarm and a copy of Chaos Dragon Livenier. We need to banish the Drew Swarm for the effect of Chaos Mirage here. So there we go. Saronir to the board. And Charge of the Light Brigade, get a copy of Raiden. So with that, he's gonna use the effect of Kashtira Birth. And there we go. So with the effect of Mirage, spell summoning the Drew Swarm to the field, and we go for our Chaos Angel. So at this point on, we'll prompt the effect of 3 cards. Angel will banish 1 card in the back row. Mirage will banish the Shangri-Ira, and Drew Swarm will send to the graveyard the Fenrir. So send, banish, and then banish. So there we go. Now I have a question here. If ever, for anyone who's watching, Super Poly into my 2 monsters right here, why didn't he target it? I've read the cards. There were no restrictions on just summoning XZ monsters, but so far this guy is having Super Poly in his arsenal. So this could be a good target for Madima Dragon. He has a copy of Madima Dragon and a copy of Garura in his deck here, and this protection is just for monster effects. So I don't know why he didn't use the effect of Super Poly here. So tell me in the comment section below. So there we go. Go for Core and go for a level 8 play into Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler will excavate, and I think he's scooped here at this point on. Saronir will gain us more gas in the graveyard, sending a copy of Rebellion. But we'll just tribute it for the Chaos Ruler though. I will tribute Chaos Ruler for Rebellion, and then banish card for the effect of Chaos Ruler. So that's just basically it. We have more than lethal. So that's it for the replays, guys. Hope you enjoyed this content. Let's go back to the outro. Alright, so those were the replays. Very fun, very exciting. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. And I think that is all for me today. See you guys in the next deck profile. And keep safe, good luck, good night.